Whoa. Okay, so here we are. We're back. Becky and I are here for the beginning of the eliminations rounds. We got top 8 coming up. We have the bracket ready to go, and we had a complete collapse in camera quality, it looks like, but such as it goes. Maybe you all can't see that at home, even though we can certainly see it ourselves. So let's get us in 60 pixel format off the screen and get the bracket up there. See how that looks. Okay. So here are the teams that advanced out of the Swiss. We had 105 teams, 8 are left. And you can see the board as it stands now. We are going to be watching the team of Will Kruger, Dominick Paolercio, and Allison Warfield against Warfield, Stephen Dykman, and Andrew Wolthius. So we've got some interesting matchups ready to go. The players are perusing each other's deck lists. So we can go ahead and go down to the table if they're shuffling and ready to go and get this thing started. Again, a reminder, the semifinals and finals are going to be tomorrow morning starting at 9 Central. I'll get confirmation if that's the right time. I believe it is. And we will finish up this event tomorrow morning, followed by the full day or minus a round or two, depending on how much gets overlapped by the team event of the 5K event. Sorry, I'm a little distracted here. I just want to check, our viewers, are you seeing crisp footage right now, or are you seeing
it looks fine on the Twitch feed, but ours does look
so
very slow. I mean, the quality looks worse than before, but ours is definitely like borderline unviewable. So we might be seeing if there's a way for us to fix the feed so that we can at least commentate at an okay pace with the game.
Okay, so what you all are seeing is fine. All right. Well, this will be a bit of an adventure for Becky and I think, unless this gets cleaned up. But Director David, if you want to maybe consult whoever's nearby and try and figure out what in the heck happened, that might be appreciated. But as it stands, we've got Paolercio, Warfield, and Kruger as number 4 seed, earning the right to be on the play across the board. And we see Soldier of the Pantheon to start versus Larry Fields with a Blood Crypt signifying one of the black-red decks. We have it listed as Rakdos combo. I'll take a look and see how we actually are identifying this. Okay, this is actually neither one of the traditional black-red decks. This is Indomitable Creativity Super Duper Nonsense. So
we're seeing a lot of very interesting decks on the right side of the camera.
Yeah, and the camera just cleaned up too. So that is excellent. That will make things much easier to handle for Becky and I. So we got Soldier of the Pantheon, we have Bodyguard, we got Initiate, and then we have Fire Prophecy. So this deck is actually probably a lot more affected by Thalia than
the average deck.
than the mid-range black-red out of the black-red decks. Yeah, because this deck is a spell-based deck. If you're unfamiliar with it, it is Indomitable Creativity for 2, tutoring up World Spine Worm. If we have that, we can pop up World Spine Worm before it pops out of Larry's deck. And Xenagos, God of Revels. So that is a 15/15 trampler. Xenagos will give it haste and double its power. And the idea is to just win the game on the spot. There you go. There's World Spine Worm. Also, conveniently, you can discard it to one of your rummaging effects, and it just goes right back in the deck. I believe Xenagos was just drawn. You can't do that with Xenagos, which is a bit of a nuisance. But Thalia's Lieutenant powers up the Soldier and the Initiate, and damage comes across here. Dominick's not going to give Larry too much time here. Fable is something.
Yeah, this seems like it's got to be kind of a rough matchup, actually, for Rakdos combo, especially in game number 1, I would imagine. I bet that there's some instruments in the sideboard that make it a little bit better for Larry, but I certainly have to feel like game number 1 is just not exactly where you want to be.
All right, there's a Bodyguard to put a counter on Thalia's Lieutenant. And the frame rate has just absolutely collapsed again. So something else got cast. I see the dice is at 2 now. I don't know what it was. I think it's another initiate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's another initiate and
Okay.
a Dauntless Bodyguard.
Yeah. All right. So a sizable attack comes across here. And Larry's going to need. This is going to be tough because it takes 5 mana to fully execute the combo. And yeah, Larry decides, you know what? That's just, I don't have time for this. Because even if I survive this turn, I can't win next turn either. So that is it. Dominick takes down game 1. Quick and brutal over Larry Fields.
Blazing speed.
All right, so let's get us over to Legacy. So if you were here earlier, we heard Julian talk about how the Painter decks have improved lately with the addition of Fable the Mirror Breaker. So we see that here in the hands of Andrew Wolthius. He is playing Fable the Mirror Breaker against Will Kruger, last year's MVP on the Nerd Rage series with Izzet Delver, with actual Delver.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the Delver decks are up to like at least one player in particular on MTGO has some insane win rate with this mono red painter deck or something similar to it. So interesting to see it coming out here.
Yeah, Kellen Smith is on something like a 76% win streak over like a sizable chunk of matches, including he 9-0'd the challenge yesterday. Or today, actually.
Wow.
It was this morning, actually. Yeah, 9-0'd the challenge this morning. Will Kruger with a couple Delvers in play. I don't know how I feel about Steam Vents being a legal card in Legacy.
What?
I mean, look at that. I mean, it's a shock, man. Get out of here. It's just embarrassing. This should be, yeah, I don't know.
I don't even have words to retort to you complaining about Steam Vents in Legacy.
Look at that.
You're going to be like all the people who were complaining about when Death Shadow was being played in Legacy and you were playing like the Pain Lands on purpose because that was just better than playing like Underground Seas.
Sure. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, sure, it fits your deck, but in this case, it's just, what, you just want extra dual land? I mean, come on, I understand, but still. All right, Days on Goblin Engineer here. Just looks bad. Have some,
It does have a different vibe to it than the Volcanic Islands, that is for sure.
Man, 6 damage coming across here. We are seeing some one-sided games here to begin the top 8. Dominick Paolercio, Will Kruger. They're trying, maybe they just said, you know what, Skyler Warfield, we're going to try and not let you win a game this round. We're going to try and both win our matches before you get a chance.
I mean, the 4-color deck does commonly play very, very, very long. So, but against Team of Rhinos, that may not be the case. I feel like the Team of Rhinos player is either going to run it over really quickly or not be able to keep up with 4-color at all. And we just got confirmation that the Modern seat is actually on turn 2 compared to these 2 games in Pioneer and Legacy that are complete.
Jeez, what a complete slaughter. All right, so I don't know. Julian might need
to... you said we're on turn 2 of Modern. Let's go to Modern.
Well, it might be turn 4 by the time the Pioneer match is over. We got to go back to Pioneer. That's where the action's
at. All right,
at.
that's fair. All right, they're pile shuffling here.
Right.
Let's go to Modern.
We can see the whole game, or we can switch over to Modern, see some land drops, see what's developing. Okay, so 4-color versus Temur Rhinos. Going first, always nice, but probably less relevant here than in the other 2 matchups, as neither one of these decks is trying to get things over with exceedingly quickly. Still, I say things like that, and it still matters, obviously. You'd rather have your Rhinos on the board, before your opponent can defend themselves. So, Ren 6 rolls up.
Yeah, the Ren and 6 on the board is got to be a little bit spooky, but not as spooky as something like a Teferi, so...
Wow. Stomp on the Ren 6. That's nice for Skyler. I mean, if the bonus progression giant's coming down anyway, sure. I mean, of course you would do that, but still, it's just a nice feeling of like, whoa, my opponent just used resources to do something that didn't actually amount to very much.
I do agree that this match will probably be here when we get back from either one of the other ones. So if players are done pile shuffling on the other table, I'm down to go to the other table. I just didn't want to watch pile shuffling.
You heard it here. Becky Bell hates Modern. All right. So there is.
I wanted to go to modern.
Here is a suspended footfalls. All right. So we've well established that I am not style conscious or anything like that. What would you call that handpiece that Skyler Warfield is wearing? That is pretty cool, but I don't have any idea what that would even be described as.
Oh, I don't know either. I would probably just call it like a skeleton hand bracelet.
Okay. Well, it's pretty neat.
Do agree. I'd like to pick myself up one.
All right. Well, I feel fairly confident in saying that this match will still be going on by the time we get back. So let's go ahead and go to Pioneer for a moment.
Yeah, who are already on turn 2 of the player who was on the draw. So speed is the name of the game here, and Dauntless Bodyguard is trying to be a part of that.
And Thalia. And yeah, Thalia is going to be a nuisance. It's going to.
I'm sorry. Somebody said, can we crowdfund one for Joe? I think he'd rock it. And I just, the image of you wearing one of those in my head was so good. And I'm on board. I will fund one of those for Joe Lisette to wear at a Magic tournament.
All right. Well, I'll have to come out to one of the events in person and I get some advice on Skylar on how to wear something like that. Okay, Fire Prophecy takes out Thalia, and I was saying Thalia really matters for this deck. I mean, it shuts off the ability to play Fable the Mirror Breaker on turn 3. We don't know if Larry has one or not, but still, that's probably one of the ideal plays of the deck. And instead, yeah, actually, I think there was one there. Prophecy takes out Thalia, and Bodyguard can attack. We'll see if we can find some friends, add a line to shove in, or more hate bears. I mean, I guess is Thalia even a hate bear? I mean, it's 2 cost, but it's 2/1.
It's 2/1. It's
Bears
not even a bear.
Yeah, really.
I'm a bear expert. That doesn't count. Production.
And we cast.
That's a Redain, God of the Worthy.
Okay.
I got you.
You do indeed. So Redain, God of the Worthy makes spells that cost 4 or more cost 2 extra. So Indomitable Creativity is going to cost a ton. Never mind, scratch that. Redain's out of here. And now finally Fable does make it onto the board.
Yeah, Rending Volley, a 4 of in the sideboard. You got to have a lot of cards to get rid of the very pesky small creatures that Dominick's deck is playing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Bodyguard in for 3. Larry's life total staying high much longer this game, although replacement Thalia is going to be annoying. Also, that token was looking like it could attack in and at least trade for something or just get through. Now Thalia is kind of a roadblock, but Larry might want the treasure, so he may have to attack anyway.
Deciding what we're doing with this fake looting on Fable the Mirror Breaker.
Fake looting? Becky Bell, it's called rummaging. Get with the program.
I'm sorry, but it's like a double rummage.
I know, but it's still not. It's not fake looting.
Okay.
I mean,
I guess we are functionally looting, but it's not like faithless looting. I don't know. What are we calling it?
Faithless looting is looting. No, we're. I don't. There had to be. Why do we call it rummaging? There must be a card that inspired that name or a mechanic.
It's a goblin rummager.
Okay, there you go. See, I knew it had to come from somewhere. All right, so that is completed, and now, well, let's see. So with Thalia in play, the Rakdos combo execution is going to cost 6. Also, it needs to be done pre-combat. I mean, you could do it post-combat, but that is risky.
Mm-hmm. All right, Path of Peril going to come down. Don't even care.
Nice.
That we got blocked there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a Path of Peril, also another 4 of. So as we mentioned, likely a lot of ways for this Rakdos deck to sideboard, and Skyler Warfield does pick up that first game.
Okay.
Likely going in the anticipated fashion of we saw the run-in 6 on the field, and it just outvalued, and Temur Rhinos could not keep up.
Potentially. Here we go. Indomitable Creativity 4-2. If we have Indomitable Creativity, let's go ahead and pop it up. And we're likely going to see, barring some sideboarding, we are going to see Xenagos and World Spine Worm here, which may take down the game, or maybe Dominick has something that can defend against this. I'm not sure exactly what that would be, but I'm sure it's conceivable. There is nope, he doesn't. So Worldspy Worm and Xenagos, that is going to combine to attack for 30.
Yeah,
Dominick
bring Indomitable Creativity up on the board.
Yeah, Dominick being at only 20, that is not enough.
Yeah, is there any deck in Pioneer that gains a lot of life so that you don't worry about being attacked for 30? Oh, your Fog deck would do really good.
I don't know if I called it Fog deck.
I know, I wouldn't call it a Fog deck either, but I think it's funny to do so.
All right. Yeah. I think. Okay, we're gonna switch over to Legacy while they're working on getting ready for game 2. I think your comment there, while in jest, I think also you were kind of like, take a shot at the Fog. That was kind of like a dig. You're like, your Fog deck, ha ha, as if that's a real thing. I heard that was implied.
Fog decks
I heard
used
it.
to be a thing.
Yeah, in other formats when you had
That's
good
true,
fogs, like
that's
Moments
true.
Piece. All right, so here we go. I guess we actually should pay attention to what's going on here.
We'll come back to the Fog deck comment later.
All right, so the Mono Red Painter deck at least has a little more going on than last game, which was nothing. So Engineer in play, Delver, as well as a new Delver. Yeah, and a Dragon Rage Channeler.
Kind of a lot of creatures in play, though. That looks like a Painter's Servant.
All right, well, that is one half of the combo. Grindstone is the other half, and it's in play.
It's in play, yep.
And okay, that is that. So if Will Kruger,
I love that we got to go back to both of these matches, and it's like Rakdos combo off, Mono Red Painter combo off.
Yeah,
so we just got to see both of the combo people go.
If Will Kruger had Larry Fields' Worldspy Worm in his deck, maybe he wouldn't be dead right now. That may be a deck building flaw. All right, we're gonna go back to Pioneer again and see how things are looking. Let's try and get the game tallies updated. I believe we're in game 3 now over here, and Dominick Paolercio may have split a sleeve or just exposed a card or something while
it could have been that Larry shuffled it in the wrong way, and Dominick is trying to be like, that's not allowed, which
perhaps,
but
yeah. I mean, your deck can't be marked.
That seems like it. If you're gonna pick a way to cheat, I feel like putting a card in the wrong way would not be my first choice.
Yeah, I mean, I many years ago in a qualifier, my opponent played turn 0 black leyline, and then I was going to concede. I won game 1. I was going to concede game 2 because they were winning to go to game 3, but I had a surgical distraction in my hand. Like, well, I'll just look at their deck first, and I cast a surgical, and the 3 remaining ley lines in my opponent's deck were all upside down compared to every other card.
Oh.
And they threw my opponent out of the tournament. So, yeah, having your cards upside down backwards, not good. You shouldn't do that.
Wow. Okay. I was expecting this to be you like being a shark in some way and like just having like a gotcha moment, but that only like 10% is. No, that's like all right. I wouldn't have ever even thought to do that. I would have, just snap conceded to it as well. So that's wow.
Yeah. All right. Hopeless Initiate, not the most powerful one drop, but let's see if it gets going. It does boost it up by a Thalia's Lieutenant. Thalia's Lieutenant, probably not the ideal turn 2 play, but it's something.
Yeah, it'll be able to get bigger. And if you're just trying to like get out the gate, although I imagine you would like to play Thalia herself instead of her lieutenant first.
Right, and the lieutenant would want to like follow the leader, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is all screwed up here for Dominick. He wants to lead with actual Thalia so that the lieutenant can then spread his power more widely. No play here for Larry, which is no problem for him.
Yeah, it looks like we got 2 Path of Perils in hand, so we're just saying, throw what you want into play. I'm not going to worry about it too much here.
Okay, is
so
that
wedding festivities?
Okay.
Or wedding announcements, excuse me.
Yeah, wedding announcements. That will pick up a card here for Dominick. As when he reaches the end of the turn trigger, he has attacked with 2 creatures this turn, picks up a free card. Okay. Wedding announcements. There it is. There it was. And no impingements of Larry's mana this game. And Path Peril, yeah. Say goodbye to your creatures. So next turn, wedding announcements will just be making a token.
Not too bad though. I think wedding announcement seems to be a sideboard card, though I imagine it's probably got to be a fine one to have main as well. Let me double check on that before I commit too hard.
Oh, so 3 creatures dropped by Dominick here. Follow-up removal spell would be problematic.
I do think that I believe there's another Path of Peril in hand.
Mhm.
So, and an Urborg coming down. The wedding announcements are 4 in the sideboard. Main deck, it is 34 creatures, 22 lands, and only 4 Brave the Elements. So we're going back to some like old mono white creature shenanigans.
All right, so no follow-up sweeper for Larry Fields.
But it's in hand. It's right there. We're just waiting.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Chef at Dunes is going to sacrifice here, so that's going to pump 4 more damage onto the board, and this is a pretty big attack.
It's +2/+2 to each creature, isn't it?
I believe it's +1/+1 counter to each creature.
Oh yeah, it's +1/+1 until end of turn. Wow, I'm thinking it's overrun. You're like, yeah, okay.
And here is a
Windfall.
Okay, it's the alternate big score, right?
Yeah, you discard a card, you get 2 treasures, you draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so it's the same card as big score. It's just the other version. I don't remember the name of it offhand. Let's see if I can find
Unexpected Windfall.
There. Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. Yeah, Windfall. I knew Windfall wasn't the entire name of the card because that's something else.
Oh, sorry.
But I mean, that's good enough to identify for anyone that has a clue what they're talking about. So just exclude me.
Whoa. Okay, we're not even going to mess around with the other Path of Peril in hand. We're like, Xenagos, let's get onto the field. Let's go.
And Dominick is tapped out. Does not have 11 toughness worth of creatures and play to block here.
But it's going to make Larry show that the World Spine Worm is still in the deck.
I mean, I guess you're a top 8 in a team event. You're not going to want to risk doing anything silly like just throwing your table face up on your deck on the table face up and saying it's in there. Just find it yourself and eat it. 30 damage coming across. And this is it. Wow. Larry Fields will defeat Dominick Paolercio.
What a fun deck.
I mean, I'll tell you what, someone I know found a list from a league online, played it, 5-0'd themselves, and I was like, okay, we'll take a look at this. And I tried it, and it seemed miserable.
Yeah, I feel like it really depends on what you're going to end up playing against. I feel like if you're going to end up playing against a lot of these aggro lists that are just trying to like do their own thing and come across into the red zone at you, you end up kind of like Larry here, where you just go to the sideboard games, you get rid of all their creatures until you can finally cast that indomitable creativity.
Yeah, and it looked, I mean, cast a sweeper, cast a removal spell, cast a big score equivalent in Unexpected Windfall, and then just crush your opponent. And that's it. So one match for Larry Fields, Steven Dykman, and Andrew Wolthius. Let's see if they're able to get the other one, or if Paolercio, Warfield, and Kruger are able to come back here.
I love the pixel snowlands. They're like probably one of my favorite secret layers, and I didn't even buy them. Mentally, I was like, if I need snowlands, I'm going to need like 20 of them, and I'm not going to want like the other 4 that it comes with, because it just comes with 1 of each color. So I'll just buy them separately later.
Yeah. All right, so Bobble into play here for Skyler, but no Planeswalkers yet. And Steven Dykman, certainly his deck is capable of doing a lot during end steps. So Skyler may be taking that into account and not wanting to commit anything here. Like even if there is a Teferi to be dropped, Dykman could easily just Cascadian Response with Violent Outburst. So if there is counter spells or something in Warfield's hand, holding them up makes some sense. Chat saying I'm not interested in the pixel slow lines. It's not that I'm not interested. It's that I had to figure out which land was the Pixel Snow land based on process of elimination of which
Oh.
other lands, of just eliminating all the lands that were on the board that they knew what they actually were.
Got you. Okay.
I mean, I thought it might be that top left one because that one does look somewhat unique and somewhat cool. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I leave
That's the
the
one.
artistic comments to the guests.
I appreciate it. It's a part of the thing that I enjoy the most is getting to point out all of the cool different arts. Doing my best to try and keep up with all of them, and Wizards is kind of giving me a run for my money by continuing to print so many of them.
So the Yorion there, half underneath Skyler's deck. I actually kind of like that. The placement of the commander right there, just right by the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Bobble again. Let's see if Skyler has a land for the turn. Yes, indeed.
Scott seems like it has to be very different from how game one ran through, and I wonder if a part of it would be just like the difference in how sideboarding went for Skyler compared to what Steven maybe did, and maybe we just have like a few more counter spells this time for Skyler.
I mean, that would certainly make sense. Question about where to find the deck lists. So the deck lists can be found. All the deck lists in the tournament can be found in MTG Melee. They're either available now or they will be tonight after the round is over with. I don't know which, but maybe we can get info from the director on that. And of course, while I'm answering that question, oh, okay, and that's it. So I was trying to interpret what had happened.
What was happening?
Yeah, and what has happened is that Andrew Wolthius has won his match.
Do we have confirmation that it was with the same combo again, and that the 4 combo wins just won this entire right side of the table of the match?
I mean, that was the deck. I mean, Julian did say it was only like 50% of the games we get win by the combo, and the rest won by just grinding with Fable and Urza Saga. So that's true. I don't know. We have no way of knowing at this point, but what we can tell you is that Larry Field, Stephen Dykman, and Andrew Wolthius have to wake up early tomorrow because they are still in this team event. For Dominick, Paolercio, Skyler, Warfield, and Will Kruger. Good fight, making it through to the top 8. The run ends here. Enjoy your prize money and your Nerd Rage points, and maybe we'll see you tomorrow to battle through the 5K event.
Looking at all those names, they're definitely coming back for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are mainstays on the series. So if we have an updated bracket, we can take a look at it. If we don't, we don't. Okay.
This might be the first match to have finished.
Oh, I didn't even consider that. You're right. Yeah, there might be nobody else finished yet. All right. Well, because the teams do take up all 3 of the cameras on their own, we don't have a backup match for team events. So that will conclude the Magic for today. The semifinals will start tomorrow morning at 9 Central Time. So expect the finals sometime around 10. And then maybe around 11, give or take, whenever we flow into the start of a round, we will pick up the coverage of the Modern 5K. Becky Bell, you're going to be here tomorrow afternoon too, aren't you?
I will, yes.
All right. So Becky will be here tomorrow. Should we put up next month's event? Let's go put next month's event.
Yeah, let's
We're talking about when people can come watch. They can watch tomorrow. They can also watch next month. They can find assorted highlights on the NRG Twitch and YouTube pages. The YouTube page in particular has seen a lot more activity in the last few months. That's awesome. Okay,
check out the YouTube.
Yeah, the next month's event towards the end of September in Minneapolis. As you can see here, 10K Modern, 5K Pioneer. That is the end of the season. So that will lock a couple players in. I don't think we have a list of the qualified players at this point, which isn't surprising because there's not that many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, trying to lock up slots for the end of the year championship for Nerd Rage, which is always a good time. So a few people will do so. 3 people will do so tomorrow morning. The winning team will earn the right to contest the championship at the end of the year. And so will the couple players who are top of the leaderboard in season 2. Meanwhile, in season 3, which is, we're going to show you right here. So if you have no Nerd Rage points at this date.
Yeah, is there no way that I could ever make it, Joe?
There is, Becky Bell. There is. See,
well,
you're probably dead in the water for the year-long leaderboard. I mean, somebody
Okay, yeah.
with no head start in your skill level, it's going to be tough.
That's
However,
true.
if you just start in season 3, which starts in Newark, Ohio on October 22nd, which randomly enough is my sister's birthday.
Oh, so you will not be there.
Well, I'm not sure I would be there. I don't know that I could call off of working for the radio. I mean, we can celebrate her birthday on a different day. That's no problem.
That's fair.
Anyway, so if you're starting fresh, well, you've got 4 events here, and there's a season 3 leaderboard, and the top 2 players at the end of it qualify for the championship. So there you go. There's your route in.
This would be a
You are
lot
going to
of
have to.
flying.
What are you talking about? There are people listening to this that live anywhere in the country. They could.
That's true. I'm talking about for me. For me, I'm
Oh,
looking at this and I'm like, this is a lot of flights. But for you at
you
home,
are fine where you are. You show up and do commentary with me and pick out pixelated artworks and all kinds of random nonsense. Although you failing on what Skyler's jewelry was called was disappointing, I must say.
I'll find the name for you. I'll DM it to you.
Yeah.
We'll figure it
Okay.
out.
All right.
We'll ask Skyler.
Okay, we can do that too. Okay, so Newark, Ohio, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Mundelein, Illinois, and then Louisville, Kentucky at Nebula Comic-Con. So those are the events for season 3. The December Showdown winner at Nebula Comic-Con will also auto qualify for the championship. So that's what's at stake here. That's what's going on. I don't know what else I've got for you today. That concludes the coverage. Yeah. So if you enjoyed the coverage, consider following the channel. Ooh, that's some. I didn't mention that one time today. I didn't do it once.
You're gonna get fired.
I know, but really, there are so many reasons they have to fire me, and I'm still here. That my job security must be somewhat high. But yeah, you should consider following the Nerd Rage social media channels. If you're enjoying the content, please do so. Hope you enjoyed the day. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 Central for the semifinals. Have a good night.